good evening, fam. Hey, it's your brother G Hightower coming in for Late Night Love Chat. How do you know if you're relationship ready? Those of us who have been single for quite a while, most of us would say, hey, I'm absolutely ready, especially if you have been single and not really dating anybody, not really um, getting entangled uh, with any persons in your life. You've been really focused on your job, focused on building that business, focused on finishing that book, launching that podcast show, all of the things that you've been wanting to do for a while. But now I want to encourage some of us who perhaps believe that we're relationship ready, but there are some things that are underneath the surface that we haven't really addressed. How do we know if we're really relationship ready? Ladies, you'd be surprised that a lot of men have shared with me that they feel like you feel, that their picker is broken. I remember the first time one of my sisters told me that. She says, Dr. G, I need your help. She said, because my hem picker is broken. Well, I have talked to some men, ladies, and brothers are telling me these are men who are relationship ready, men who are marriage focused men. And they share with me, it's like, hey, Coach G, I need some help because my her picker is broken. I just keep seeing seemingly choosing the wrong persons, the wrong partners. So I want to come in tonight and give us all a little bit of maybe give us open up the toolbox and give us some tools that will help us to be more selective and more discerning how we are choosing potential partners. I am your coach, G Hightower, the Entanglement Coach, and I am the CEO of Real Love Nation. Real Love Nation is a relationships development, premarital consulting, and divorce recovery firm. This coming August, I will be 22 years, yes, 22 years serving as a pastoral counselor specializing in relationships. So I'm not new to this. I'm real true to this. I'm not just another talking head on social media. I am a person who is passionate about the mission of building healthy love relationships. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Please go ahead and share this broadcast. I'm going to give you 3 love nuggets tonight. We'll probably give you more. That's usually what I do. We're going to talk about 3 signs of relationship readiness. But before we get into those love nuggets, I want to share with you what signs are not what things are evident that a person is not relationship ready. I had a woman call me, a lady who's quite well known. She's an educator. She's a minister of the gospel. And she told me, she says, you know what? She said, um, my body is just ready to get married. And then she goes on and on to begin to share with me how the feelings that she's been having, that her body is ready to get married. Ladies, gentlemen, let me help you. Whatever physical feelings that you're having, when you say my body is ready to get married, that's just about sex. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and have the grown folks conversation because here in the late night love chat, and anytime you see me go live on any platform, we're always going to keep it rated double R, righteous and real. Listen, let me help y'all in here tonight. When a person says that their body is ready to get married, or I miss being held, or I wish I had somebody to hold or somebody to share this moment with or that moment with, those are physical and or emotional desires that are not necessarily signs of relationship readiness. That's just how you're feeling physically. It's just how you're feeling emotionally. But after you get beyond that day or that moment, will you still feel the same way the next day? Will you still be in a place where I really want to share my life with somebody? I really want to experience this. And I'm really willing to give myself and share myself with another person. I have a lot of people who are desirous of relationships, but they don't want to share their space. They don't want to share their life. I just recently heard Keke Palmer on a podcast show, actress Keke Palmer. Most of you are familiar with her. A lot of us grew up watching Keke Palmer, or we watched her grow up, I should say. Most famously, one of her first really, really awesome movies, Aquila and the Bee. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's filmed in my city, Los Angeles, California, South Central, with the great Lawrence Fishburne, and Angela Bassett plays her mom. And beautiful movie. So we watched her grow up. But Keke Palmer says that even if and when she gets married, that she never wants to share a home with her spouse. She wants to live separately from her spouse. They will have times where they are together. They will have moments where they are together. They will schedule, I suppose, schedule husband and wife time on an intimate level. But she never, ever, ever, ever wants to live with her future spouse. And I'm like, wow, okay. I suppose some men will be willing to sign up for that, but that's a tough one. And listen, I know due to the demands of different working schedules and different um, career choices that we make nowadays, that for some couples that works very well. She would definitely have to have a man who's a non-traditional man who would be open to that. Some men are, but for most men who are marriage focused men, all right. Now, ladies, I know men better than y'all know men. Okay, I know you know a lot of men. I know men better than you know men, and I'm just telling you, most men who are marriage focused men are not going to be willing to sign up for that program because we don't devote ourselves. Typically, again, there are exceptions to every rule, ladies, but I don't want you to use exceptional situations and make that a standard. Standards, and we're going to get into that a little bit later in this broadcast because we're going to differentiate between standards and expectations. All right. Standards and expectations are not one and the same. All right. Blessings to you, LaMercia. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Welcome to Late Night Love Chat family. This is your brother, G. Hightower, the Entanglement Coach. Listen, go ahead and hit that share button. Let's go. Let's get some folks in here tonight. We got to help some people, y'all. Listen, because there's a lot of people who are in need of information so they can be relationship ready. All right. But getting back to the physical part and the sexual part, the bottom line is this: that just because you are have a need physically doesn't mean that you're relationship ready. All right. The body is going to want what it wants. It doesn't necessarily mean that because I desire to have physical intimacy with another person, it doesn't mean that I'm ready to be married. It doesn't mean that I'm even ready to be in a relationship. That's just a physical desire to be met. That's it. All right. So let's go. Let's get into these love nuggets. So love nugget number one: what does relationship readiness look like? Number one, relationship readiness looks like this: that you have done the soul work, uh, where you have forgiven your ex. Oh my God. Yeah, we're gonna unpack this one. That you have forgiven your ex. And let me share with you what forgiveness looks like from a godly perspective. Because a lot of us will be like, I forgive him, I forgive him. Yeah, I forgive her, but I'll never forget, with that level of hostility and that level of angry energy. Um, um, when you have truly forgiven somebody, it means that you drop it and let it go. Can I get a few people in the chat who've done the soul work, who are already walking in forgiveness, who are not holding on to bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness, and none of that stuff? Can I get a few people to just drop 3 words in the chat for me? Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Because listen, forgiveness is not so much for him or her. Forgiveness is for you. Yes. Oh, yes. I know. Because when you've gone through something and you've been betrayed, your trust has been betrayed, you've been, uh, you know, just violated on an emotional level and otherwise, guess what happens? We hold on to that stuff, and the soul really wants revenge. Your spirit man is compelling you to say, no, 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 we can't go there. But the soul, your mind, your will, your emotions, it wants revenge. Oh, yes. Come on. We want to have a James Brown moment. We want to have the big payback, revenge. I got to get some get back. Listen, yes, come on, Lisa. And so you want to get revenge. You want to get some get back, right? I got to get my lick back. Like we're some little kids. We're some little kids, LaMercia. Blessings, Howard. Thanks for coming in, SM Howard. You want to get some get back, right? You want to get your lick back, especially when they dogged you out. For real, for real. I mean, maliciously went out of their way to hurt you and you were doing nothing but good for them. Oh, yeah, you want to get some get back. Me too. All right. But listen, Every day that we spend harboring those feelings, you are delaying your own destiny. You can't afford to delay your destiny. You've been through too much to get to this level, and God still has so much more for you. There's so much more in store. But listen, when you get on that revenge journey, every day that you're harboring that unforgiveness, every day that revenge is at the top of mind for you, you are delaying your own destiny, and you're delaying the arrival of your future purpose partner. Your future purpose partner can't show up in your life when you're still harboring resentment and unforgiveness towards your ex, because they're going to feel that pain. They're going to feel that energy that you have for him or her. And at some point, at the most inopportune moment, it's going to seep out. You're going to be triggered emotionally in this relationship based on the pain of the past relationship. It's not a matter of if it'll happen. I know we mean well. And some of you are listening to me right now. You say, oh, no, I would never go out. No, because this woman is sweet to me, Coach G. No, I would never go off on her. It's only a matter of time. If you don't take the time to make sure your soul is healed, you're not relationship ready. All right. You can have all the other boxes in your life checked. Great relationship with God, faithful servant in ministry. Boom. You're a great person on your job. Boom. You're a great person in business. You know, your Google ratings are up to speed in your business. You're getting great rave reviews and all of the things. But behind closed doors, nobody knows that you are still harboring resentment towards your ex. Right? It's so far beneath the surface. And as a result, any person new that comes into your life, that relationship will be managed for a while, and you'll be able to, bring the best version of yourself to the table. But inevitably, when you have such deep rooted feelings on the inside, and this doesn't have to be even relegated to a romantic relationship. These deep feelings of resentment and unforgiveness could be tied to a family member, could be tied to a former business partner, could be tied to a parent. And those deep feelings are going to come to the surface at some point. It's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. So, family, part of relationship readiness is making sure my soul is whole and that I'm walking in forgiveness. That's an absolute necessity. All right. Here we go. Love nugget number 2. Talking about 3 signs of relationship readiness. Here we go. Love nugget number 2, family. Not only have you taken the time to heal that which hurt you, but guess what? You have gotten to a place. Not only have I forgiven my ex, but now I'm in a place where I am ready. Now watch this. This is going to really bless somebody's life. All right. You finally gotten to a place in your life where peace is so vitally important for you that you don't, the peace in terms of where you are, peace in your singleness, right? You finally gotten to a place where I do not audition myself for a relationship, and I don't chase potential. Ooh, man, that just feels good in my spirit. It feels good like like a like a like a like a tomahawk steak. Listen, that you don't audition for anybody, that you don't chase potential. Listen, when we are in a space where we are just so thirsty for love, we're so thirsty for companionship, we find ourselves chasing after people that really don't fit the description of our destiny, really don't align with our purpose, but we'll settle for somebody who has great potential, somebody that we have some level of attraction to, and you can see that person, he or she has great potential, and we'll settle for that. And that lets you know that you still need some soul work. Another part of that is that we find ourselves auditioning for people, that we're willing to jump through hoops unnecessarily. Listen, When you are at peace where you are, you ain't gonna audition for nobody. Listen, we can go out, we can hang out, we can go through this wonderful journey of getting to know each other, but I'm not about to audition for you, boo. You ain't auditioning for me, and I'm not gonna audition for you. Unlike that show, uh, nephew Tommy's show, Ready to Love, where at some point during the show, um, the woman goes to meet the man and his friends or family members, and then the man has to go meet her friends or family members. Like, yeah. In this initial phase of us getting to know each other, somebody dropped this in the chat once again. Dating is for discovery. Dating is for discovery. While we're in this process of discovering each other, I don't want to meet your friends. I'm not going to go and meet up with you and the girls. I'm not afraid of anything. I just want to enjoy this experience with you and with you alone. And then if we're bonding together and we decide that we want to be exclusive together, right? Which means that we're moving now from the dating level to the courtship level. So if we decide to make that jump, then cool. At some point, I definitely would like to meet your friends and I want to introduce you to mine. But if we're just in this process of discovering each other, second, third date, and we're going out and we're still trying to get to know each other, I don't want to meet your friends at that juncture because your friends are going to feel differently about me than you do. And all I'm concerned about is you. I'm not trying to marry your friends. I'm not trying to date your friends. All right. And ladies, y'all will be surprised. Oftentimes, your friends who are advising you really want what you have. Ask me how I know. Y'all be listening to your friends, and your friends be like, girl, I just don't think he's good for you. It's just something about his eyes. His eyes just don't look, my grandmother always said the eyes are the window to the soul, and just something about his eyes just don't look trustworthy. And then he'll have you second guessing something that you never even given a second thought to. You'd be like, yeah, his eyes are kind of squinty. And next thing you know, you decide that you're going to put him in the friendship zone. 2 months later, your homegirl is talking to him. Lisa asked me how I know. Hey, Rochelle, good to see you, dear. Next thing you know, 2 months later, your homegirl is talking to him, and she never even told you. You were out at the mall, and you bumped into your homegirl who advised you against him, but now she's walking through the mall with him. Ask me how I know. I'm telling you. So you want those first few dates, those first couple of months to be the bonding time that you are spending with him exclusively. All right. Don't bring your tribe in yet. You're still trying to get to know him. All right. And then if you get to a place where you decide that you're considering being exclusive with him, da 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 da, then have a conversation with him and you all figure out an event that you want to share together where friends and family can be involved and we do that whole meetup thing then. But make the decision by yourself. You have a God who is all knowing. You serve an omnipotent God, you serve an omniscient God. Get in the secret place and go spend time with God. Because watch this. I'm going to throw you a bonus love nugget. Here we go. One of the signs of relationship readiness is that you keep sex off the table. You know that I'm not going to put sex on the table. I'm not going to let sex be a part of this equation of us getting to know each other or to determine if we have a high level of compatibility. Well, sex is very important, so I got to see if we're sexually compatible. Listen, sex should be the very last thing that a man and a woman does together. The very last thing. You know why? Because sex is so easy. Some of us have had sex with people that we don't even know. Sex that we don't even remember their name. Sex we never even got their name. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Last night was great. What's your name? Bunny. Okay. Yeah, Bunny. Wow. Hop hop. Yeah, it was hippity, hoppity, bouncy. But we don't even know them, right? And we went there physically. We literally gave our body to that person. Like, what in the mess? So it's the easiest thing that two human beings can do. And it doesn't require us to like each other or even know each other. So we're going to keep sex off the table because sex, from both a spiritual and an emotional standpoint, it clouds your judgment. There are things that you're just not going to see once you begin to engage in sex. All right. On a spiritual level, sex significantly diminishes your discernment. All right. Now, the signs that this person is not the one that you would normally be able to see, that you would normally discern, you may miss them. And oh, let's keep it real. We grown folks up in here tonight. If the sex is good, you really gonna ignore some red flags. You will see them red flags. Rank, 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 looking right at the red flag. Red flags, red banners, red lights, stop signs, everything. But if that sex is good, you're gonna be like, yeah, oh, oh, no, no, yeah, but girl, um, ain't he a thief? Yeah, I know, girl, but girl, whew, auntie, let me tell you, he might be a thief, but I gave him these cookies. He didn't have to steal them. Listen, I'm not going to mention any names, but one of my dear friends served as a PR director for a very well known celebrity. And when she got with this dude, she knew that he was no good. He has a reputation. He has a well documented reputation. She got with him anyway. She was a little older, he was a little younger. And he had that whip appeal. He had that whip appeal. And next thing you know, she's singing the song Whip Appeal, talking about no one does it like you. And she was messed up for like a couple of years. Like she couldn't even date anybody after that because she was so emotionally distraught when this relationship was over. And when she looks back on it, yeah, he was very generous with money and gifts and all the things. But in terms of being available and being in a real solid relationship of substance, he wasn't bringing that. And he told her from day one, I'm not bringing that. Her thinking was, if he's with me for a little while, I bet I can get him to change. And she went into the relationship thinking that she could change him when he already told her, huh, relationship readiness? No, I mean, we can hang out. Hang out. That should have been a red flag right there. But she got involved anyway. All right. So we got to keep sex off the table. All right. Keep sex off the table and just get to know that person on an intellectual level, get to know that person on a spiritual level, get to know that person on an emotional level. Are they emotionally mature? Are they emotionally available? Right? You want to know because if not, you keep sex on the table and you start getting involved instead of paying attention to the red flags. My sister Rochelle said you'll start bleaching them red flags. Them red flags will turn into pink flags. It's like, oh, that's not a red flag. It's a pink flag. Yeah, we're celebrating Susan G. Komen month. Yeah, breast cancer awareness. Yeah, that's a pink flag that's waving. It's not a red flag, it's a pink one. Yeah. Breast cancer awareness. Trying to tell y'all, man. I'm trying to tell you now. Trying to tell you. Somebody come along and got that whip appeal and give you that ooh wee. All right now. Y'all grown. You can do what you want. I'm just admonishing you. I ain't nobody special. I'm only a person with all this gray hair in my face with 22 years of experience. All right, let's keep moving. Let me give this third and final love nugget. And then if you all have some questions, drop your questions in the chat. I'll be glad to take your questions, whatever questions you have. We're talking about 3 signs of relationship readiness. How do you know that you are relationship ready? All right. How do you know when you are relationship ready. Here we go, family. This one is huge right here. This one is huge. When you are really relationship ready, guess what? You are attracted to peace and what aligns with your purpose. Oh my God. Teach, Hightower, teach. You are attracted to peace and that which aligns with your purpose. And anything less is uncivilized. You're not going to settle for less. Why would you? Why would you? Let me speak to my ladies in here tonight because we as men, we understand. We understand. We understand. If I make a bad decision, I'm willfully jumping off the cliff and making this bad decision because men that make bad decisions are usually being driven by lust or driven by fear. Ladies, because unfortunately you have to wait to be chosen rather than do the choosing. Ladies, what you have to do is you have to maintain the standard. Oh, I did say I was going to talk about standards versus expectations. Okay, boom. I'll put a pin there. I'll come back to that. Standards versus expectations. Ladies, what you have to do in the selection process, and you get to choose as well who you're going to give access to, who you won't. However, what I want to give you tonight, ladies, is this, that in this process, you have to allow peace to be your guide. In other words, if there's any man that comes into your life, any man that approaches you, any man that requests access to you, wants to take you out, you got to let peace be your guide. If your spirit doesn't have peace, it's not even worth entertaining, not even for one date. No, we ain't about to be on that Luther Vandross energy. If only for one night. No, not for one night, not for a half a night, not for an afternoon, not even for coffee. If your spirit is not at peace, we ain't about to waste time with this. We ain't about to waste time. Nah. Brothers, you already know. Come on. You know what time it is. I don't care how sexy Mamacita looks. If your spirit man is ringing loud, boom, 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 you don't get no peace, bruh. If you don't have peace in the initial meeting of her, you ain't gonna never have peace with her. Come on, bruh. Everything about her screams that she's in dire need of validation. Look at her pictures on social media. She's got multiple pictures of her on the beach in a thong, cheeks clapping. Dollars. Listen, the women who adorn themselves like that and present themselves like that for the public to be seen on social media, bruh, they are screaming for validation. So that's robbing you of your peace from the jump. How can you ever have peace in your life with a woman like that? Right? She's going to have you in some situations where you're going to have to fight, or you might end up having to really get violent behind her. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of purpose. Matter of fact, it's a conflict of purpose. All right. So you got to let peace be your guide. You got to let peace be your guide. All right. The next part of that is purpose. I believe a lot of us are single right now because we're choosing our preferences instead of our purpose. Oh, yeah, I know this to be true. I talk to so many people. A lot of us are holding on to our preferences instead of our purpose. And so as a result, you don't even think about purpose when you're thinking about her, when you're thinking about him. You're thinking about your preference. Does he check the boxes? I had a woman just recently, just within the last few days. She's 5'2". 5'2". And she says, I won't date no man who's under 6 feet tall because men who are under 6 feet tall have short men complex. They have a Napoleon complex. I'm like, really? That is the most. I literally laughed on the phone when I was talking to her. She says, Coach G, why are you laughing at me? I said, because it is the most asinine thing. It's ASA 9, ASA 10, ASA 11, ASA 12. I mean, just, just utterly ridiculous. Men under 6 feet tall have the Napoleon complex that we have a short man's complex. And I said we because I'm 5'10, 5'11. I'm like, okay. I mean, never, ever, 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 ever have I ever thought, I'm singing some Sesame Street song. I wish I could be tall. I want to be 6 feet. I want to be 6 feet tall, or I'm not going to be chosen at all. I do pretty well, and I'm not 6 feet tall. Oh my God in heaven, the things that some of these women come up with. Oh my God. And they quote it with conviction, like it's a scripture. No, because no, Coach D, it's really a thing. I mean, it really is. I said, that's not a thing. No, it really is a thing. Men are under 6 feet tall. Most of them, they suffer with the short man's complex and Napoleon complex. It really is a thing. It's not a thing. Okay. First of all, you're 5'2". Okay. I would gather with heels on, stilettos. That brings you up to about 5'6", 5'7". Okay. That still would put you in a good position with a man who's 5'10", 5'11". I'm just saying. And perhaps you have not seen enough footage, either in person or on video, of short men knocking men the heck out. I've seen it and I've done it. Oh my God. Yes. Rochelle, it is absolutely insane. I'm like, they will speak this stuff like it is biblical. All right. So let me talk about standards versus expectations. Before I get there, I'm going to talk about standards in a minute. But before I get there, let me share with you, ladies and gentlemen, this week, this coming Saturday, I have got this awesome life-changing class entitled Preparing for Real Love. All the stuff that we've been talking about in terms of relationship readiness. Listen, you do not want to miss this class. It is a 4-week relationship intensive. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get deep. We're going to be exposing all blind spots. If you have not dated and been in a real serious relationship in 2 years or more, 3 years or more, listen, you got some blind spots. You don't think you do. But if you haven't been in the rhythm and the flow of sharing your life with somebody, you're out of touch. And especially for those of you who haven't dated in 3 to 5 years or more, you way out of touch. Listen, I know it doesn't seem like a long time, but the world has changed. From 2020 till now, the world has changed dramatically. Can I tell you? And for those of you who are at the 10-year level, baby, it's almost like y'all are Rip Van Winkle. You went to sleep one day and woke up 10 years later, like, oh my God, what in the world has happened? Yeah, we got cars now that can drive themselves. It's true. Listen. So this class is for you. All right, preparing for real love. We're going to be exposing relationship blind spots. We're going to be dealing with soul ties. Okay. Soul ties are, for those of you that don't know, soul ties are strong emotional connections to another person or persons. Soul wounds are situational, where something you've gone through in your life, some traumatic experience, some setback, some betrayal that you've gone through has left a wound on the inside of you. And if you've never been healed of that soul wound, you will carry the pain of that wound into your next relationship. And you all know the old adage, something that should be a scripture: hurting people hurt people. Okay. You want to be healed of that hurt. You want to make sure your soul is whole before you get into that next relationship. All right. That's what this relationship intensive is all about. It's a 4-week journey every Saturday in the month of March, starting this Saturday, March 7th. And guess what, y'all? I have 2 classes I'm doing every Saturday, 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. So if you miss 12 p.m. class, you can get there at the 8 p.m., 12 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. I keep saying 7, 12 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'm doing 2 sessions. Now, what if you can't make either? What if you're working or you got other events planned? register anyway, because all of the classes are going to be on Zoom. They'll be recorded on Zoom. And then you go ahead and register for the class, and we'll email you the link so that you can watch it per your convenience after that thing is over. All right. You'll be able to watch it as often as you like. Hey, Kanisha, good to see you. All right. This relationship intensive is only $97, y'all. That's less than $25 per week. And again, you can attend one or both sessions every Saturday for the entire month of March, 12 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going down in Zoom town, all right, at Real Love Nation. That's preparing for real love. Listen, for those who have gone through my classes, some of you are familiar, some of you are not, many of you are not. I'll just tell you, this is not just another course that you hear about online. We have fruit. Ever since I created this course all the way back in 22, and then even from the big course that I did in 24, where we had almost 60 people register for that class, we now have 5 women that are married and 3 women that are engaged to be married. 2 of those 3 women are going to get married this year in 2026 and have already reached out to me and says, Dr. G, we're going to let you know when we set that date because we want you to come. I'm like, okay, wonderful. The couple that recently got married, they got married this past June. Guess what, y'all? This beautiful black man, this beautiful black woman, they're in their 70s. And she went through my course last year. Spent 6 months, excuse me, not last year, 2024, she went through my course. In 2025, she got married just this past June. Okay. Ladies, this is your time. Brothers, this is your time. Come on. How long y'all gonna be single? You said in 2020 you was gonna be married by next year. 2022, you said I'm gonna be married by next year. 2023, 2024, 2025. It's 2026. This is your year. Let's go. Come on. We ain't gonna keep on hoping and the wishing, and thinking that somehow FedEx, Amazon Prime, or UPS is gonna deliver a spouse on your doorstep. It's not happening. It's not happening. Okay. So if you're ready for real love, then you gotta prepare yourself for real love. Again, the class is only $97, y'all. Most of us spend at least that much on lunch. All right. Get in here and register. Boom. There's the links right there at the bottom. It's not loaded up on my website. I haven't been able to get it up on my website, which is readytoloveagain.com. You can go to my website. There's some other things that you might be interested in there. But for this particular course, you can register via Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. It's GTH Global, the number 7. That's GTH Global, the number 7. All right. All right, there's the link there, and you can register. And listen, I promise you it'll be life changing. It will be life changing. All right. If you don't have either of those, just shoot me an inbox. Say, hey, Dr. G, I do want to come to the class, but how can I register? And I'll give you a way that you can do that, like through Apple Pay or Google Pay. All right. I'll set that up for you. All right. All right. So let me give you this last love nugget, and then I'm going to get out of here, y'all, because I promised myself that I'm going to start going to bed earlier. All right, so here we go. Last love nugget. I'm talked about standards versus expectations. Standards are always going to be based on principles. All right, and principles are never changing. Expectations are just like methods, they're always changing. All right, so expectations are many, standards are few. Expectations will always be changing, standards never do. You should never lower your standards to get with anybody. All right. Expectations will change. Think about who you are in the last 10 years. Your body has changed. Your face has changed. Your desire has changed. Your tolerance level has changed, right? You can put up with things now that you couldn't put up with 10 years ago. And there's some things you will never put up with now that you did put up with 10 years ago, right? Those are expectations, right? Your standards, however, those are things we never compromise. All right. So don't list superficial things as standards when really that's just your expectation or your hope. For example, ladies, all of y'all that are that are seemingly addicted to these height requirements. Now, for taller ladies, that makes sense. Those of you who are 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", and up, it makes sense for you to want a taller man, okay? But y'all ladies that's 5 foot tall, 5'1", 5'2", Come on, ladies. Don't eliminate a God ordained blessing for your life because you have the unrealistic expectation that this man that's in your life, he's got to be at least 6'2" to 6'4" tall. It could happen for you, but you put yourself in a very small box where not only are there not a lot of men who are like that, who are marriage focused men, but also you have a greater pool of women who are competing. And yes, I use the word competing, that are competing against you for that man's attention versus a lot of good quality, godly, hardworking, very successful men who are 5'11, 5'10, 5'9, maybe even 5'8. Honey, if you 5 feet tall and you barely taller than the Aflac duck, if you barely taller than an Aflac duck, a man who's 5'8" will fit the bill for you. Okay. It may not be your desire, but he may be the exact thing that God has for your life and will make an outstanding husband for you. All right. Food for thought, something that make you go, This is G. Hightower, the Entanglement Coach. I hope you were blessed by the broadcast tonight. I gotta go because I gotta get myself some rest. I got a big day tomorrow and a lot of work to do. But in the meantime, in the between time, I hope that you will consider coming to this class. This is going to be a transformational relationship journey that you need to get on if you say you're ready for love in 2026. And guess what? You deserve it. You do. You deserve it. If you really, really want to come and you just don't have the money, shoot me an inbox. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Those of you that know me, you know I will work it out for you. All right. Because even though my business coach and my mentor always advised me to do differently, I'm always a pastor at heart, even though I'm retired from pastoring, but I'm always going to be a pastor at heart. I like making things work for people. All right. Especially if they don't necessarily have the financial wherewithal to make it happen. I'll help you make it happen. But you got to be ready to do the work and you got to be ready to invest. You got to make some type of investment. This is not free. All right. The great Les Brown told me, and I found it to be true. People do not value what they do not have to pay for. That's just a truism of life. So you do have to make an investment. If you say you're ready, you'll make it happen. It's like you used to make it happen back in the day for them concerts you used to go to, and the outfit and getting your hair did and renting a car and all of that. $97 is nothing if you say you're ready for real love. All right. Again, this is your brother G. Hightower, the Entanglement Coach. I'll see you later, but hopefully see you this coming Saturday, March 7th, 12 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you later, fam. Peace.